welcome to the Women's Football Show here on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Kerry Pollock. Alison McConnell is here with me ahead of Scotland's meeting with Hungary in the Euro 2025 qualifiers. Ali, before we get to the game tonight, what did you make of that winning performance against Hungary in Budapest on Friday?
Yeah, I thought, I'd have to be honest and say I thought Scotland were maybe lucky to come away with the win, you know, with a 1-0 win. I thought there were points Hungary looked quite menacing. They had two really good opportunities that on another night I think they might have taken. However, as the game went on and Scotland got the goal, I thought they settled a bit and they too could have won by a wider margin. However, I think while the tie is very tentatively tipped in Scotland's favour, I think it would be silly just to write off Hungary at this stage just yet. I think if the game is still 1-0 at half time or maybe on the hour mark tonight, I think that there'll be a real concerted push for them to go and try and ask questions of Scotland and trying to see if they can flip it and turn it around.
It is predicted that Scotland will go on to face Finland in that final qualifying game. That victory on Friday marks Scotland's 6th consecutive competitive win. Can you see something in the squad to tell you that they will qualify for this tournament?
I certainly think it's a winnable playoff route that they have. I think they should beat Hungary. I think they're ranked substantially higher than the Hungarians. I think they are capable of coming out of this one. And then at the minute, of course, the tie between Montenegro and Finland is very much tipped in the favour of Finland, who also won their first leg. Now, Scotland and Finland played one another back in February, the Pinatar Cup out in Spain. Earlier this year, I think that one ended in a draw and then Finland won on penalties. However, I think again that would feel like a very winnable game for this team. I think it's been a fairly kind draw to Scotland as they look to go and push on and make it to Switzerland next year. I think the squad is good enough. You look at the squad on paper, you look where players are playing their football. They've had an opportunity to mature across the last couple of years since they failed to qualify for the World Cup. The manager has certainly had an opportunity to implement his style, his philosophy, for everyone to get used to it, to buy into it. And now this is where you see the proof of it. I think Scotland should be aiming, they should be at Switzerland next summer.
What's key for tonight to get the victory?
I think part of it will be managing the psychology around the game. I think inevitably when you get to this stage there can be a bit of nerves, there can be a bit of anxiety the closer it gets. Essentially, you're looking at Scotland being 3 steps away from making it to a major tournament. I think you have to handle that occasion. Also too, it's a narrow scoreline. I think you have to manage that. Should Hungary get back in the game quite early tonight, I think you need to keep composed, you need to stay calm, you need to stick to the game plan. You saw after Scotland scored on Friday night when Martha Thomas scored just on the hour mark, the game opened up a bit. There was like a real couple of good chances towards the end of the game where Scotland might have doubled their lead and have taken a more commanding cushion. So I think there will be chances tonight. I think they will have opportunities. It will be about being clinical and taking them. Of course, the same can be true of Hungary. I think they will definitely look to ask questions of Scotland. I think they'll feel as though there is an opportunity to get themselves back in the tie.
Well, Pedro Martínez Losa said after Friday, after that victory, that Scotland will not lose here tonight, and he stuck to his word earlier this week.
Well, I was referring more in the motivation and the group and the confidence that we have inside, obviously respecting the opponent, but also we got a result the other day through the way that the game was, and I think that is an aspect that the team is doing now with consistently, and that's part of one of the aspects of having a winning team in the critical moments. On the other side, we know obviously we are excited about having very talented players coming back to the squad, and that gives us that confidence that we can offer a good game to our fans. It was more the excitement after the game to come back home with building the atmosphere with everyone and be able to face this challenge together.
Alison, what will be key for Scotland to get that victory tonight?
Yeah, I think there are a number of elements. I think they need to be very organised, they need to keep it compact, they need to take their chances when they come. I think also they have to be very defensively solid. They need to contain Hungary at points. As I said, I thought Hungary had 2 glorious opportunities that they'll be kicking themselves not to have taken in Budapest on Friday night. So I think you need everyone switched on, everyone just adhering to the game plan. But I think when there are chances, Scotland had another couple of opportunities late in the game, and deep in the game. They could have made it a more comfortable cushion this evening. I think if there are chances tonight, they have to take them.
Did that struggle on Friday come from having certain players back from injury and they weren't used to playing all this together, that sort of thing?
I'm not sure so much. I think Caroline Weir has been hit the ground running essentially for Real Madrid. Played of the month in her first month back. Fantastic goal against Celtic in the Champions League. I think inevitably Scotland have been asked to manage her situation by Real Madrid. They want an update. Obviously, they didn't maybe want her playing 90 minutes in such a short space of time, given the fact that she's just come back from such a serious injury. There was game time too for Emma Watson. I think for me, what I felt on Friday night was that there was a bit of nerves about the performance. I think the closer you get, I think you have to manage that. And Pedro Martínez spoke about that on Monday afternoon, about the fact that they've utilised a mental coach for the last 2 years within the squad in order to maximise these moments, to embrace pressure rather than be intimidated by it. And I think that will be very important tonight.
Is this where he'll look to his experienced players, Caroline Weirs and Sam Kerrs of the squad, to really step up in these final moments?
Yeah, I think he will. I think there is an experienced spine within this squad. I think they know there are players here like Erin Cuthbert who know what it takes to go and qualify for a major tournament. Crucially too, I think you also have players within the Scotland set-up who are performing and playing at the very top level in a domestic sense. So you have Erin Cuthbert competing for Chelsea, you've got Caroline Weir at Real Madrid, you've got Jenna Clark down at Liverpool. I think this is very important when you go out and you play games of this magnitude and you want to compete at the very top level of international football. I think to have players exposed to a certain standard week in, week out is crucial. Sam Kerr obviously in Germany too. I think you need the experience of these players to just try and take you over the line. But this is a squad, I think this is a very winnable game for Scotland, and I would say the same should they progress. And at the minute, the balance of the Montenegro and Finland tie is tipped in favour of Finland. If they go on and win that, then I think these should be seen as very winnable games for Scotland.
Yeah, Pedro Martínez Losa says his side will certainly remember this game for years to come.
And we take this pressure as a positive and something that we can embrace the pressure in the way that we are here thanks to the work of many people, many players that contributed. It's a good opportunity and we want to take it. And that's how the way we see the pressure on trying to also enjoy the occasion for the players, because I'm sure in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, we are all going to remember this occasion as one of the most significant in our lives.
Well, Alison, league duties do return this weekend. We've got Glasgow City against Partick Thistle, Spartans will face Queen's Park, Aberdeen against Hibs, Rangers take on Montrose, Hearts against Dundee United and Motherwell Celtic. There is a new boss in town, Scott Booth, of course, taking the managerial seat at Aberdeen. Yeah,
it was a really interesting one. Scott Booth had obviously gone back to Glasgow City this summer, a club where he enjoyed considerable success as manager. He then left and gone down south, came back up this year as Leanne Rossi's number 2. One of many changes on and off the park for the Petershill side, and I think it's very interesting that former Aberdeen player obviously wanting to go back to his former club. But I just wonder then if there have been some kind of assurances about the professionalism of Aberdeen, because it's been a long time that they've been without a manager. I think Colin Bell left mid-August. It's a lot of games that they've had to play without a manager. I think there have been accusations at points of the club not being particularly professional in the running of the women's side, given the resources that they have. And I just wonder if Scott Booth's appointment there is an indication that they're going to move towards giving it the resources it deserves and just trying to elevate its stature up at Aberdeen. And maybe I think realistically Aberdeen should be challenging. They should be a top six side season after season.
Well, Scott Booth comes in obviously having won 5 league titles with Glasgow City. Is it just that element of experience that could lift Aberdeen to the next level?
Yeah, and I think he's an absolute professional. I think you know what you're going to get. He's used to winning. He has overseen winning teams. He's overseen a drive towards increasing professionalism of the women's game, and I think those are the standards that he'll now seek to go and implement at Aberdeen.
Absolutely. Well, Alison will be at the game tonight. Of course, looking forward to Scotland possibly qualifying to the final round of Euro 2025. On behalf of myself, Alison, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.